CJ Flyer back with another YouTube video. Tom Thibodeau fired from the New York Knicks less than an hour ago after having just lost to the Indiana Pacers in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. Despite the fact that this Knicks team beat the defending champion Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals this year, despite the fact as well that the Knicks made huge improvements compared to last season, in which they only made it to the Eastern Conference semifinals, losing in 7 games to the Pacers. And also despite the fact that Tom Thibodeau is widely known as one of the better coaches in the league's history. So, the Knicks are looking to shake things up a bit. There was a lot of criticism of Tom Thibodeau's choices throughout the series against the Indiana Pacers, especially regarding the lack of bench depth utilized for the New York Knicks. If you go ahead and look here, we got StatMuse pulled up here. We have the New York Knicks, their entire bench in that series versus the Pacers put up 117 points. Meanwhile, the Indiana Pacers, they put up 210 points with their bench players in the series versus the Knicks. And if we look at games played throughout the entire playoffs, so the Knicks have 18 total playoff games in this postseason. The Pacers have 16. And despite the Knicks having 2 more extra games played, if you look at that bench depth here, the number of games played by the bench players, both teams here utilized at minimum 7 players throughout all of the games that they played in the postseason so far. But if you look at the Knicks, you go down the line past the top 7 players played, and you can see there's only 2 more players on this list that have more than 10 games played. Meanwhile, the Pacers, who, like I just said, had 2 games fewer, they had 4 more guys that got 10 plus games played in this postseason. You can see clear as night and day that the Pacers, Rick Carlisle, they're utilizing the bench a whole lot more than the New York Knicks were this postseason, which leads to the criticism of Tom Thibodeau perhaps running his players into the ground. That's always been the criticism for the past couple of years now, is that he is overplaying his guys. You look at OG Anunoby, 39 minutes played per game in the postseason. Mikal Bridges, 39 minutes played per game. Jalen Brunson, 38 minutes played per game. There's only 48 minutes in the game. Meanwhile, you look at the Indiana Pacers, and the best player on the Pacers, or I guess I should say the best 2 players, because Pascal Siakam won the Finals MVP, not Halliburton. But Halliburton with 35 minutes played per game, Pascal Siakam 33.5 minutes played per game. I mean, again, it's just, the Knicks have all of their starters playing over 35 minutes per game. The Pacers only have 1 guy playing over 35 minutes. Heck, they have a starter that doesn't even play 30 minutes per game. And, it's just, again, clear as night and day here that Rick Carlisle is utilizing his bench a whole lot more than Tom Thibodeau is with this New York Knicks roster. Granted, you could make the argument that the Knicks bench is not very strong. Tyler Kolek, he's a rookie. You got PJ Tucker. He's not really going to get any playing time, especially at 39 years old. You got Landry Shamet. You got Cameron Payne. They're not, anyone that's in the NBA is not a terrible player, but you look at that, you're talking about a deep postseason run. Compare that to what we've seen so far from some of the Pacers bench players. It's been incredible watching some of them go off. You look at Ben Shepherd, that rookie right there, 2 threes attempted per game. He doesn't have to do a whole lot, right? He comes in, he plays 14 minutes per game in the postseason. He's shooting over 40% from 3. He's your 3-point microwave guy off the bench, basically. And you look at the Knicks, do they even have that? I guess that's what Landry Shamet's supposed to be. But anyways, that being said, the Knicks got some moves to make. They got the coaching carousel to look at here, and I want to talk about that a little bit. So we got a lot of great options for head coaching candidates going into this offseason for the New York Knicks, for any team really that's looking for a new head coach. Obviously, we had a few coach firings right before the end of the regular season, some unexpected ones. Michael Malone being at the top of that list for the Denver Nuggets, him getting fired right before the postseason was definitely an unexpected move. And of course, we also have the Grizzlies head coach, Taylor Jenkins. Now, Do I think either of these guys are exactly what the Knicks are looking for? Based on the criticisms we've seen and assuming that the criticisms led to this firing, it could be too quick of a reaction. Perhaps the Knicks should have, calmed down a bit, waited a few weeks. But I suspect the reason they did not want to wait on firing Tom Thibodeau is because there's so many great coaching candidates out there right now, and you don't want to miss out on them. And now let's just go through some of these candidates here. This article, this is from April, by the way. This is from like a month and a half ago. Okay, some of these coaching candidates here. It's incredible how long these guys have been available. Seems like some teams are probably just waiting for the dominoes to fall to see what kind of moves they want to make and to see if any other coaches get fired. And sure enough, Tom Thibodeau got fired. So perhaps some of these teams that fired their head coach might look at hiring Tom Thibodeau. That's yet to be seen. But the wild card here, the candidate that I think the Knicks might go for, just based on the fact that Tom Thibodeau was being criticized for not utilizing his bench. Not to say that the Knicks bench, again, I don't think it's very strong compared to some of these other teams that have been making deep postseason runs or at least made it to the second round. But if you want a guy that's known for utilizing the bench, you got none other. If we scroll all the way down this list, all the way at number 11 on this list of head coaches here, you got Coach Bud, former coach of the Phoenix Suns, former coach of the NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks in 2021. I mean, this seems like a guy that, if you're the Knicks and you're looking at finding a coach that wants to play the bench players a bit more, this would be your guy. I'm not saying he's the guy to get you to the finals and win the finals necessarily, but he's the guy that gets you to play bench players and gets your starters some rest. He's notorious for that, almost to a fault. And, I mean, is there anything else to really clarify on that? I think Suns fans and Bucks fans know exactly what I'm talking about with Coach Bud. That's why you see him, typically he will get teams that he's coached great regular season records, the exception, of course, being this last season's Phoenix Suns team. Very disappointing considering some of the star power that the Suns have on the roster. Of course, you also got the Kevin Durant drama. You got the nasty Bradley Beal contract. I don't think you can pin it all on Coach Bud. I don't think you can really pin the Suns' failures on any of the three coaches that they've had in the past 3 to 4 years. It's really a big fall of roster construction. But this video isn't about the Phoenix Suns. It's about the New York Knicks. If the Knicks are looking for a coach that's going to utilize the bench depth, Coach Bud is probably your number one candidate for that. I'm honestly surprised they got Steve Nash listed above Coach Bud here. But that's, whoever made this list. Who did make this list? Who do I need to shout out here? Shout out to Ed Venus here at the Daily Writer. But yeah, anyways. Taylor Jenkins, I feel like he's more a coach for a rebuilding team, not so much a deep playoff run team. So I'm not sure I would really go for him. Michael Malone, he, big name, but I feel like, you're going to have some of the same issues, butting heads with other people in the organization potentially. Michael Malone is known for kind of being very pushy about certain things. I think Frank Vogel would be another great candidate, and I'm honestly surprised that he hasn't gotten a head coaching opportunity after being let go from the Phoenix Suns. Currently working with the Mavs organization. I would be very surprised if Frank Vogel doesn't get some head coaching offers here during the offseason, especially with so many openings. So I would say those are, maybe I think too highly of these guys for winning championships, but I really think Frank Vogel, Coach Bud are like the two guys that the Knicks should really go after, in my opinion. Michael Malone, maybe. But like those are some of the big names I see. Some of these other guys, I think they're just too young, or they just don't have that proven playoff experience of leading teams to deep playoff runs. Of course, you got to start somewhere, I suppose. Royal Ivey, former NBA player, was on that Houston Rockets staff, and or I guess he's currently on the staff. Excuse me. He could be another good option. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think Coach Bud is what the Knicks are looking for personally. I could be way off. Knicks fans can go ahead and start yelling at me in the comments. But that's my 2 cents on the situation. I do think this was a little bit of a quick reaction by the Knicks to just get rid of Tom Thibodeau so quickly. I understand it's because there's so many great coaching candidates out there that perhaps there is, you don't want to sit around and let all the good options, get hired elsewhere. But really, I mean, it's just surprising to me because the Knicks definitely made a step up. You could argue it's because of the roster construction that they made the step up this year. But personally, I feel like the Knicks made the step up this year in part, due to Tom Thibodeau's coaching. I don't think you can just ignore that. And I feel like coaches are always the first person that people like to point fingers at as far as, NBA failures. It's always the head coach's fault first, then it's the GM's fault, and then we get to the players. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, and click one of the videos on your screen now for some more NBA discussion.